When you think about Texas Tech, the first thing that comes to mind is their football team. Guys like Patrick Mahomes, Michael Crabtree, or former coach Cliff Kingsbury might be the people that you first think about when Texas Tech is brought up. For a while, their basketball team has went under the radar, but just this past week, their men's team defeated the Gonzaga Bulldogs to qualify for the Final Four, along with Michigan State, Virginia, and Auburn. Along with Auburn, this is their first ever Final Four appearance in their entire basketball history. Just last year, they made their first ever Elite 8 appearance as well. Somehow, this school has accomplished things that they couldn't in over 80 years in just the last 2, and they don't seem to be done yet. Today, we will be looking at the rise of Texas Tech basketball. Texas Tech is located in Lubbock, Texas, and plays in the United Supermarkets Arena. To date, their men's basketball team has qualified for the NCAA tournament 17 times and has made the Sweet 16 in 7 of those appearances. They have also qualified for other postseason tournaments and enjoyed some success in them as well. They have won their conference tournament on 5 different occasions and won the regular season's conference title 12 times. This past season, they ended Kansas's long reign of winning either the Big 12 regular season or tournament title by taking it themselves in the regular season. Their biggest successes, however, have mostly come as of recently. Under head coach James Dickey in the 1990s, they enjoyed many 20-plus win seasons, but didn't get any farther than the Sweet 16. Under coaches Bob Knight and Pat Knight from 2001 to 2011, they made it to the tournament 4 times, only advanced to the Sweet 16 once in 2005. After the Knights were gone, they had 3 different coaches from 2011 to 2016, and Chris Walker, Billy Gillespie, and Tubby Smith, but only made the NCAA tournament once in 2016. After that 2016 season, they hired Chris Beard, and everything changed for the team. When he arrived, the school had a recruiting class ranked in the 100s in the nation based on 24/7 Sports. In his first season, they had a roster filled with transfers and a lot of juniors and seniors, and finished the season at 18-14. They started off the year at 11-1, but struggled once they got to conference play. They lost 6 games that year by less than 4 points during the season, and the year could have been very different if they just made a few more shots. One player from that season, however, who would have a significant impact in the future would be guard Keenan Evans. In Beard's first official recruiting class in 2017, Texas Tech signed 5 new players. Among those would be Zaire Smith, Davida Moretti, and Jarrett Culver. Moretti would be the only player from that class who was rated higher than 3 stars, but even most websites had him as a 3-star recruit exactly. With not too much talent on the roster, many people didn't predict Texas Tech to have a good 2017 season, but the team quickly turned heads after they started off at 14-1 and defeated 3 ranked opponents along the way, including Kansas. They went on to go 22-4 and were in prime position to win the Big 12 regular season title. Unfortunately, they lost 4 games in a row to finish 2 games below Kansas, and then would go on to lose in the second round of their conference tournament to West Virginia. Keenan Evans led the team in scoring this season, but both Zaire and Culver were 2 great complementary pieces around him. As a result of their season, they received the number 3 seed in the East region, where they defeated Stephen F. Austin and Florida to make it to their first Sweet 16 since 2005. Matching up against Purdue, they were underdogs for the first time in the tournament. It didn't matter to them as they went on to win the game 78-65 and set up a matchup for the top-ranked seed in Villanova. They were demolished in that game, and although the ending was disappointing, the team had done something that they had never done in their entire program's history. In the offseason, they lost Keenan Evans and Zaire Smith to the NBA, but added 4-star recruit Kevon Moore, Tariq Owens, and Matt Mooney as transfers. Many expected them to take a step back because of their losses, but they actually performed better. This was in due part of the emergence of Jarrett Culver, who may become the best professional Texas Tech basketball player of all time. He showed plenty of promise the year before, but just couldn't get a lot of touches because they had Evans and Smith. With him now being the leader of the team, his points per game jumped from 11 all the way up to 18.5 this season. He also led the team in rebounds and assists and has shot up draft boards over the past few months. On Tuesday, he became the 4th Texas Tech basketball player to be named as an AP All-American when he was named to the 2nd team. Texas Tech started off this season at 15-1 with their only loss being to Duke, before they eventually lost 3 straight. Despite this skid, they would only lose 1 more game the rest of the regular season and helped end Kansas's Big 12 basketball reign by winning the regular season title. They would be upset in the first round of the Big 12 tourney, once again losing to West Virginia. Texas Tech would finish the year at 26-6, which would be one of their best finishes ever, and remained a consistent top 10 team throughout the year. As a result, they were rewarded with the 3rd seed in the West region. Along the way, they defeated Western Kentucky, Buffalo, Michigan, and of course Gonzaga to get to their first ever Final Four. In the past 2 seasons, they have accomplished so much with what many thought to be minimal talent. The one way they've been able to do this is by their defense. They make their opponents look sloppy and force turnovers and play tough, physical defense. As a result, they get a lot of opportunities in transition. The only way you can really beat this team is by making your shots and getting over 60 points. But even sometimes that isn't enough. In their win over Gonzaga, it was the first time a team had scored more than 60 points against them in the NCAA tournament, and they still lost. In the game against Michigan, they held them to 6 points in the first 14 minutes of the game. In total, they've allowed 59 points per game on the season, which is the 3rd highest ranking in the nation, and have scored an average of 73 points per game. They have made every team that they've matched up against work hard for every point they score, and they don't back down from anyone. Previously mentioned, Jarrett Culver leads the way for this team. He is almost impossible to contain and almost never has 2 bad halves of basketball. He is a good defender and is one of the best athletes in the nation, with a game that is only going to get better. As a team, they can also shoot the 3 very well, where they average 36.8% from deep, led by Davide Moretti, who averages 46%. Although they can score in many ways, there are times when their offense can grow stagnant and they won't make shots, but thanks to their defense, they are able to keep these games close. Despite their stagnant offense, the one weakness I can pinpoint on this team is their turnovers. Currently, they rank 113th in the nation, where they average 12.3 turnovers per game. But usually, they are forcing just as many, if not more, turnovers than they commit. I haven't mentioned his name a lot, but Chris Beard has done a great job at the school so far. Previously the coach at Little Rock, Beard had a proven record and has shown that he could get the most out of what he had. He has turned many of these lower ranked recruits into NBA prospects. Keenan Evans, Zaire Smith, and now Jarrett Culver are just the start of what could come out of this university. Their 2019 recruiting class looks to be promising as well, where they have Jamias Ramsey, Terrence Shannon, and Kevin McCullough joining the team, with others coming in as well. All 3 of the players mentioned are ranked as 4-star recruits on ESPN. Since Beard has arrived, Texas Tech shot up to the top 50s in recruiting class rankings, but their 2019 story is far from over, and we'll just have to wait and see what they can do in their first ever Final Four appearance against Michigan State on Saturday. This has been the rise of Texas Tech basketball. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.